Presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, has asked the Obidient family, which he leads, to see the incessant attacks on them as a huge sacrifice needed to rescue and build a new Nigeria that is possible. Obi, in a series of tweets, said he identified with his supporters who have been under attacks over their comments and counter-comments, especially on social media. Now, let's show you some of the said tweets that have been causing this issue. He says, and I quote, "Datti and I are painfully mindful that for the mere reason of being obedient, most of you have suffered vituperations, physical attacks, loss of rights and privileges, hateful trolls, indignities, and vexatious fighting words, even some of those we long regarded as civic leaders and conscience of our nation. Please bear such attacks as the sacrifices that we are all required to make in order to create a new Nigeria where justice, equity, fairness, love, and prosperity shall reign." He further said, "Be assured that Datti and I are with you, and that the ongoing unfortunate orchestrated efforts to demarket and delegitimize the Obidient movement will fail. We are fully structured and have remained focused and steadfast in addressing the ills of our nation."
Well, recall that Obi has challenged in court the outcome of the February 25 presidential election, which declared President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the APC winner. Well, he has therefore charged his supporters to maintain peace and avoid being dragged into needless controversies. Well, let's now bring in a political analyst, Otumba Kenny Odugbemi, who joins us now from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. How are you? It's
well,
nice
we're fine.
to be with you. Thank you very much.
We're doing great. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Well, let's move on straight. This topic has also made some of the stories and front pages as well, especially that of the Sun, a Daily Sun, I beg your pardon, and other newspapers alike. Well, it has to do with what we just mentioned, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, talking to the Labour Party, or what is otherwise termed the Obidients. What's your take on his recent tweets?
Okay. Thank you very much. And it is obvious that we've gone through, we had a lot of tweets from the presidential candidate of LP, which is Obi, and it's in order as far as I'm concerned. And you know, when you are in a political race, we know the kind of election we do in Nigeria is characterized by quite a lot of a bit of violence and a bit of here and there chit chat, and people, you know, sending words across one another. So I think in his own case, I mean, there's a lot of supposedly allegations as claimed by him concerning how they are trying to demarcate LP. Incidentally, I will look at it from an intra-party conflict. Because in his own case, he has two issues. He has inter-party conflict, which means the conflict between him and probably the president-elect, which is APC and PDP, and also intra-party conflict within his own family caucus, that is, within the people in the LP. And I think the most vociferous out of all these conflicts are the issues that emanated from inter-party conflict, which means that they have been able to establish some ground concerning some high level of illegitimacy, what they regarded as illegitimacy within the party. I think that is what is causing issue. And you know now that inter-party conflict is something that is allowable within the confines of electionary process. Even almost all the parties also have their own inter-party conflict. We were able to witness carefully clearly what happened in PDP that was fractious and fragmented by the conflict that existed between the intra-party, out of which is the decision to make which means the whole decision boils down on the leadership ability to be able to look at how do we equitably get the leadership position, which what fell out of the way. I mean, the party caucus were maintaining the standard. The presidential candidate is the North, the chairman of the party is still the North, and the people in the South are shouting. And if you look at APC too, they have their own. I mean, that is what the issue of the Miloko came to be. So you will see now that intra-party conflict is allowable. Inter-party conflict is also allowable because inter-party conflict existed as a result of the aftermath of election. I think it's just trying to give a support and to raise their level of confidence, so that, I mean, it will be very encouraging. I think that's what Obi is trying to do.
Well, so many angles, excuse me, so many angles to this conversation. But I'd like to ask what your thoughts are as regards the Obidients. We find that, there have been, like he said in his tweets, he's encouraged them and told them to see the attacks on them as a sacrifice that they have to pay for good governance. Now, we know that there are a lot of tribunals and petitions that have been brought before the Election Petition Tribunal. Do you foresee that this would be remedied, or this will be attended to before the 29th of May? And how do you see us going forward from here?
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you've just said. And if we want to start again, it's true. For instance, after the election, there's a room for tribunal, because the provision is that when you go through election and you have some discomfort, or there is no agreement between you and the result, you are free to go to tribunal. It is also on record that LP has gone to court. But I wouldn't want to say that is tribulation or demarketing, because no, the LP is the background, the fundamental that drives LP is they go for the real issue. So he has gone to court to discuss the real issue that he felt concerned with. So I wouldn't want to agree that he is saying that marketing them, because when you bring a petition between the tribunal, now there's a need to argue the case within the confines of the law. And when you're arguing in law, you base it on precedents and on technical reasons. Most of all these petitions have been placed before the court. So I want to believe that, the vociferous attitude, the cacophony that they've generated, especially the Obidient family, the way they are vociferous in terms of their, especially Datti, I felt is uncalled for. I want to believe that we are law-abiding citizens. If issues is tendered before the tribunal, I think we should have confidence in the tribunal, and we should not create a kind of issues that could create that could turn the nation upside down. Because you see, we all know clearly that power of life and death lies in our tongue, which means as a human being, you must put yourself in a position to use your tongue in a manner that it won't cause quite a lot of trouble. I think the vociferous attitude, the countenances, the alteration of the vice president is what is causing a lot of trouble, because independently, if there's no smoke, there won't be any fire. Because if he has not come with that manner, nobody will be able to come and critique what he has just said. They've gone before the tribunal. I expect that the substance they presented before the tribunal should be the center of it. It's not a question of giving warning to the judiciary, giving warning to the president, giving warning. We are at a very high level of toxicity in this nation. We know that the election was characterized by quite a lot of issues. And the issue range from issue of ethnicity, issue of religious dichotomy. Those are the real issues. And these are the issues the political elite, the hegemony of rulership in the political parties have used over time to cause confusion. So when a party now go in that line, the party should not blame others for coming. Because if you tread on part of religiosity by moving from one church to the other, you are already inviting quite a lot of issues. And what we have seen so far, the way and manner LP has gone about their own campaign has also caused a lot of stain in the constitution. Invariably, it's otherwise to the position of constitution that we should not use a religious group to campaign, or we should not do any derogatory statement, and we have seen quite a lot of derogatory statements. I think it is what they is happening to LP is a reaction to their own action. I don't want to believe that they are demarketing them. Where everybody is looking at the substance of the case they presented to the court, and also everybody is trying to analyze how they've gone about their election. In especially, we want to believe that they went on issue based, but the issue of ethnicity and religious sentiment played out. So I wouldn't want to believe that at the market is only the substance they're doing. After all, they believe on issue based, and the public is looking at issue based to analyze correctly what is happening within the political space.
All right, Dr. Odugbemi, you did mention statements being made by the presidential candidate and talk about the vice. But many people have also said that the other parties indeed had their spokesperson who have made vile statements, especially on social media platforms. I don't know if you've seen some of them. Some of them have been.
Yes, I've seen.
Yes. So, does it make a difference that if one made it on live on national TV and one continues to make it on social media, is there any difference in this scenario where one is being attacked for making it on TV while one has consistently still made that on social media?
No, let's be frank. You see, when we look at the entire political space, there's a kind of high volatility in the public space, and there are a lot of contending issue of what is going on within the party and outside the party. I want to believe that, I mean, the special assistant across all the parties and all the parties have done, they are poorly performed. You will see now that the kind of words they vomit across the party, it shows that we are not really matured. The political culture we have in Nigeria is not refined, and the so-called elite that are in the political space, rather than sticking to their onion, rather than looking at the issue base they claim they want to issue, they've gone too personal in the way they do things. I want to lay some example. You can imagine what happened prior to the election, that people, some youth came and said, Baba, we know well, if they shout, they may look up. Those are derogatory and defamatory. And we are also seeing quite a lot of hard issue fraternities have played out. And we've also seen how the characteristic impunity, the divisiveness within the religious setup, the vociferous attitudes of some GOs that were giving they gave revelation, they do. All those things are inciting the people, the public. And the special assistant across the Europe party, they have not done noble. They via all within the tenets of their communication principle to go into personal issue. They've gone to an extent of now, crucifying, criminalizing themselves, which makes the whole atmosphere uncultured and unruly. I appreciate the fact that, yes, I have to defend my party. I would rather stay within the confines of the law. I would rather stay exhibiting higher level of integrity and dignity in the way I address the issue. Even though you raise any contending issue to me, I would rather want to stay as a man of integrity, a man whose word should be his bond. But what the special assistant have done across the board, they perform woefully. All of them, not excluding one. All of them, I repeat, all of them, all across the party. It shows that we are not politically matured. If you look at the issues that are in a civilized country, we've seen election in UK, we've seen election in US. In as much as people want to go, they still go about understanding the concept of the rule of law. But here in Nigeria, we violate the code of conduct. Even hate speech that is prohibited, hate speech that have been legislated and can't ban, people will throw caution into the air. I want to believe in as much as I want to defend my party, I still want to be civil, I want to be humble, I want to be a man of integrity, I want to go to the issue, not derogating, demarcating. After all, the Obidients have performed woefully at all. I mean, if you go on social media, it's a verbal attack. If you meet them personally, it's an insult. And I say, is it an insult that we use to build this nation? We cannot build the foundation of this nation on falsehood and all the characteristic impunity. I want us to come in and come at the playing ground. So I don't want to believe. I want to believe that the special assistant, the spokesman across the party, they perform woefully, and they've added more problems to the issue. And also, some leaders are not even conscious of the use of their word. That is how I feel about what is happening. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Odugbemi, thank you so much for your time this morning, Dr. Odugbemi. So many conversations as regards the kind of politics that has been played in Nigeria, especially in the past elections. And we dare say from all the political parties, the words and the utterances. But we'll look into this conversation even further. We would like to have you sometime again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.